Good morning, everyone. We are going live for another Soul Care Live class, and I'm grateful that you're here. Hi, Laura. Mariella is here. Anna, thank you for being here. I am gonna invite you, Mariella. Just one sec. Hi, dear Mariella. Thanks so much for being here with us today and with me, and the team in the technical bits on the background. Um, Thank you so much for for being here, sharing your time with us. Everybody watching, I see Desiree, Anna, I saw Laura. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Um, Today we'll be doing another Soul Care Live class, and our teacher and expert today is Mariella, and I'm so grateful for her agreeing to hop on. And I will introduce Mariella in a bit, but I just want to say to you, everybody watching this now, or when you watch this back later, I'm so grateful that you take this time out of your busy schedules to join us. And if you have any questions afterwards, or just right now when you're joining us live, down below in the chat box, you can type any question you like, or a comment if you want to join the conversation, or if you want to ask something to Mariella or me. You are so welcome, and no question is crazy. Every question is welcome. So you are, well, we are grateful that you even dare to ask them, because it takes a lot of courage and bravery to ask your questions. So with that, I'd like to dive into today's topic, which is how to, wait, let me check that if I say it right. I'm just going to check it with Mariella. It is all about how to dare to grow into your dream, but also really live it. And I think you pronounced it in a different way. So I'm going to go to you in a sec to check what it is to you, this topic, what it means to you, and maybe you can pronounce it in the way that, you know, feels closer to your heart. And before doing that, I just love to say to everybody here and to you, what a beautiful soul you are, as I have come to know you. We've worked together. You stepped into our course, Soulful Business Creation Secrets, with us. And you've been with us in the mastermind lately. But apart from that, I got to know you on a heart level, as it feels to me. And I'm grateful for you in my life. And you're such a beautiful being and such a strong, beautiful soul. And as I know, is that you've started out, when you started your business, as a virtual assistant, but in these past years, you've had so much experience already before you started, and I think it's so beautiful to see you grow and transform into this beautiful, beautiful, radiant being you are. And what I've seen you do is you have so much more than you actually sometimes, you know, thought yourself. You are really a really strong business owner, and you have a background in business as well. So you have such a strong foundation to help your clients. So it's so much broader what you do. You help businesses really transform. You have the gift of kind of being the glue between the elements of all their projects and ideas. And because of your business background, you are such a great support, such a great coach, in that sense. I don't know if you call yourself coach, but to me it feels like you are such an amazing manager. You also, I think you really love the community managing part as well. You're amazing with groups. So yeah, I think there's so much that you've got to do here, and you know, guiding all these business owners as you are yourself, but you know, you come from such big experience. You really help them reach these new levels in their growth. And hey Faden, hey Jess, grateful for you being here, and Lala and Laura. I just want to say to you, Mariella, thanks so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your gifts with this world and standing up as a true leader. You really are a special one, and I'm grateful for you daring to stand in your strength, because this world really needs people like you. So that's that's about the introduction. Did I leave out anything maybe? And today's topic is it? Could you maybe repeat it for us?
Oh, actually, I started to live my dream, and in that case, I started to grow like a human being, and also in my company and for my company. So that's what I meant with the title I sent you.
Uh, I love that. So it's how to live. Just to repeat it for everybody listening today, could you repeat the sentence of how to?
It's how to grow and still at the same point live your dream.
I love that. So how to also live the lifestyle of being in expansion, of living that dream, and
Mhm.
how to grow in that space that you create. I think you are the teacher for that. um, so I just, you know, is there anything that you'd like to start with today? Like to share something before I dive into some questions, and you know, before we get this conversation going, is there anything that you'd like to start with?
Well, actually, I think it's important that everybody knows that it all starts with a dream, and then you start to discover for yourself what the dream is and what it meant to you and what you wanted to grow eventually to your success. But it all starts with your dream that you have to work for yourself, or just not to work for yourself, because maybe there's also other dreams that you can do in a company. But
Mhm.
I think it's all important that you start to realize that you can make your dream come true.
I love that. Yes, I love that. So could you maybe share with us what it means to you, like how your journey started to really believe in that?
Well, actually, it started when we need to work from home, and I realized that there's so much more than just go to office from 8 till 5 and do that every week for the days that you work. And then I started to think, maybe I can also get my own terms and work from the projects that I like, and not only what I have to do.
Yes. So I don't know if it feels safe for you to do that, so you don't have to, of course, but you know, what lows have you been in life to help you build that confidence and build that strength, that inner strength that is needed for such a big shift like that?
Actually,
Maybe people can relate to that, and I can share some of my own as well if you want.
you need to realize, and you need to um, actually tell to yourself that um, when you discover something you don't like, there is a reason that you know that for yourself. You don't need to hide. You have to tell yourself that you need to go deeper in that and ask yourself, why is this happening to me? I had a few times when I was working in a job, was after I think 6 months, sometimes a year, I was like, do I want this for the rest of my life? Or maybe it's not meant to be for me. Or and then if you had it a couple of times, then there's some point that you think, I can do nothing. I just need to sit home inside and don't come outside anymore. And from that point, I started to think, no, that's not possible. You cannot sit inside for your whole life. So you have to go out there and see what's there for you.
Yeah. Yes. Oh. thank you so much for sharing that and being so real about it. I feel, you know, I can connect to that as well. Sometimes we hit some roadblocks, but you know, we don't often realize it when we're in the middle of it. But it can be really painful roadblocks, or it can be pretty disturbing feelings when you're stuck in that job that you feel this is not going to be it. But I've been hopping jobs for 6 times already. Like, when is this going to end? Um, you know, I've been there too, and you know, sometimes even feeling like a failure in that sense, because I just wasn't able to live the life the way maybe society or my parents maybe wanted me to live, or maybe my boss wanted me to live, because you know, you just grow into a business foundation of someone else's dream. um, and sometimes these businesses, you know, have some different types of missions and visions than we have in our own hearts for life. And it seems like when you see these entrepreneurs being successful, we sometimes forget that it all, for them as well, it all started at this lower point of, you know, being there and really, like you said, questioning yourself, like, ow, I feel I'm not happy. This is not the way I want to live my life forever. And just allowing yourself to feel that and really question yourself, just like you said, that is such a big gift you can give to yourself, to question that. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else that you maybe want to add to that?
Well, actually, when you start to realize that and you start to feel that, and you start to build actually your way back up, then then you see that other things also come around, and your friends come around, and your family come around, and sometimes people tell you, I think you feel better now. You are more like you have to be, and you were like a child or something like that.
Yeah. Yes. Like
And then you know
you,
you are doing the right thing.
exactly. I love that. So once you start the journey, once you dare to kind of break through the walls of or our own placed ceilings, often of limiting beliefs and fears to lose family, friends, and all these fears, we all have them. It's really a human thing. And then once we dare to take these steps past those fears and expand beyond, you often see that family comes around, or the people that are meant to be in your life will come around and grow with you. And that is such an amazing gift also to give to yourself when you broke through it and you realize that from there on, people that can actually really appreciate you being so brave to take that step, because in many cases you're actually an example for them, that they can create that too. But also, like you said, once you take the journey, you really start to see these little gifts, like, hey, I'm on the right track, or hey, now that I'm living this, of course, life is still hard sometimes, but you know, you grow in the confidence because you can feel kind of, I don't know, I call that sometimes being guided, but for some people that's maybe too much universal woo-woo. But maybe in a way we are guided, right? And if you dare to trust that, if you dare to trust your intuition, at least, that is something we all have, even if you don't believe in the woo-woo part. Like, you will get the gifts of, hey, I am on the right track. Hey, people are being served by my dream because I can help them. Um, so how did you know, what did you discover on that journey? How did you grow that confidence when you know, for some people listening today or later, it might be that they're still on the journey, but you know, find it hard to really trust in those signs that they're on the right track. So what do you do to live that dream and, you know, trust those signs?
Well, you should also keep listening to yourself, and from time to time look back and see what you did and which baby steps you take, because you don't have to take the big steps. You can take the baby steps, and then sometimes enjoy it more, and you realize more what you're doing, and then you can be grateful for that. And from that feeling, you can start to look at different or other points you want to realize. And so actually, the biggest advice I have is take the baby steps and do not take the big steps, because big steps make you pass a lot of things you didn't see or just missed because you were going too fast.
Yes, this is the biggest. Yes, thank you for sharing this advice and for reminding me as well, and for sharing this with the listeners today on the podcast or here on Instagram Live. Thank you so much, Mariella, for pointing this out. I totally resonate with it, wanting to go pretty fast sometimes. You know, when we take the big steps, sometimes the big leaps are so important. But in order to get to the big leap, we really have to take the baby steps in order to not forget anything, but also to not forget ourselves. Because with big leaps, sometimes we tend to forget ourselves, and for ourselves, we need the baby steps. This is so true. Thank you. Would you be okay with sharing with us, you know, how you maybe these past years, how did you get to prioritize your health and your dreams? Like, well, how did you learn to do that on your entrepreneurial journey, and maybe in the years before as well? Like, how or what happened that made you give this insight suddenly to really want to live life this way?
Well, actually, by running harder and running more harder, and realizing that you cannot do this for the rest of your life. And during the years, the children came by, and you need time for them. You need big time frames for them, because they cannot do anything for themselves in the beginning. So by starting to do more and more and more, and wanted to do anything good for other people. So, and at some point there was a voice in my head that said, stop, you cannot keep doing this, because you're forgetting yourself, and actually you're doing everything half, not finishing anything. Just in your head, it's also going a little bit wrong. Then you have the kind of full head that you think, no, I cannot do anything extra. And then I started to realize you have to let everything down now, and then pick up what is really important for you. And then every time you think, okay, I can do something else, or I can add something, then just add something. And that was actually before I started to realize that I wanted to live my own dream as a company. I first built my private life like I wanted, and then started to think, maybe I can also do this for my business time, for my days that I have to work, or I need to work, or I want to work, actually.
Yeah.
So actually, first try to organize in your head what's important for you in your private life, and then start your business, because then you have the rest to start your business, and you are not rushing anymore.
I love that advice. I love that so much. And I resonate with it. Thank you for being so real too, because what I hear you say, there was a time in your life where you were running and going really fast, forgetting yourself, full head, probably your health, you know, your body, your everything in you screamed, okay, you need to stop doing this. So sometimes it takes us humans, for us human beings, like losing our health, or at least not maybe for everybody that's in a different sense, right? But it can take at least losing the the ability to take for granted sometimes our health and our happiness. And once we're into the kind of the deep pots or holes of health, of our minds, of our hearts, that is when we kind of get a sign that we cannot do it any longer the way we were doing it. And I love how you say that, because I believe that too. Like, when I guide our clients, for example, I love to show them that there is a way to prioritize health. You know, put health first, because it's the most important one. And like you kind of, what you say is similar. Like, you start with your private life, you start with you, and from there on, with little steps, you build that outwards, and from that place, you can also start building that business outwards once you've implemented the steps needed to prioritize health here for yourself, then private life, and your loved ones, and then your business as well, or then your clients. And I think that's such a strong message that you share there. Thank you for doing that. Yes, if it's okay with you, I'd love to kind of maybe dive into, for people listening, dive into, what would you say now that you've been through the lows as well? You know where you come from. You walk your talk. So now that your business is running, you're helping your clients, and helping them build communities, and you know, you help them really expand their projects. You're doing amazing. So now that you're on this path, after implementing all these steps and going through lows into new highs, what would you now say that you really feel is your purpose, your mission here on Earth? How would you define that?
Maybe it's, in general, it's helping other entrepreneurs, maybe also companies, to get the project done that they have to do for themselves, or they planned actually, but they don't have enough people to work with it. But also, I think I look for myself that if I have the connection with the project, if I feel like it's for me. And I first start to feel if I like to work with the people in the company, but I also look at the projects that they are doing, and if they have a connection with what I think is important for life.
Yes, exactly. So what is it that, I love how you say that. So what is it that you think is important for life, in your life, and also for teaching your clients and finding projects that fit you? Like, what is that mission? What is your why?
I look for safety. I think it's important for people. And I think also security, but also the people who would like to grow with their project.
Yeah, I love that. So you help them grow, you help them expand, and do that from a place of safety and security within.
Yes, but also I work now for a company that provides kind of the safety project. So I think that's also nice to look there and see what they are doing to keep the people in general safe. They look at the risks and they just analyze it and try to get as many events possible with the safety in general there. So I think it's also important to be a part of that.
I think that's so beautiful, and it sounds like you have such a big, to also be part of that is part of what you have to give here, right? So to do that alongside people and really guide them on that journey, that's such a big gift that you have there and that you're doing. I think it's beautiful. And would it be okay if I ask you, also for people listening now or later, when you started with you know, hopping on with us and the SBCS course, Soulful Business Creation Secrets, and you know, diving into the journey, you know, where did you start? On what point did you start? And I'd love to know, why did you say yes to me and to us?
Actually, I was looking a little bit for. Uh, I did know that I want to start my own business, and I did know I want to help other companies and entrepreneurs starting their business or just actually um, fulfilling their project. But I really didn't know who I wanted to help, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, you're a planner, you did customer service. Do you still want this, or do you need something else? Or actually, I was a little bit looking for the niche in the market. I think for me.
Yeah. Something that would fit you and the niche and the direction really.
Mm-hmm.
And so what was it in you know in getting to know me when we got on calls and you know we were connected. So what was it that made you say yes and that you thought I could, you know, find that here with Feline and her team?
I think also the connection with you. I think you need a connection, and you need someone that understands you and that hits the right things and signs inside of your body that make you realize that you have to start with this. I think it's more a feeling than I can describe it. Actually, really good.
I love it. Thank you. It's a gift already that you say that. So no worries. Sometimes for feelings there are no words, and that's enough. Um, Thank you for saying that, dear. So, would you say that, you know, starting off and in the mastermind groups you've joined, would you say that you've got to some results? And what, you know, I know some of them, I know most of them, but for people listening, like, what were the results and what things are you proud of now that, you know, now that you've joined?
Um, I think actually also feeling that there's a lot of people who start their business that have the same problems, and you're not alone in the whole field, and that makes you realize that you can do it together, and if you do it together, then um, you get where you want to be.
I love that.
And it takes maybe it's not in a month and it's not in a year, but maybe it's in 5 years, but that's also okay if you keep seeing the growth. And
Yeah. I love that so much, and you're so right. It, you know, it will take a couple of years in that journey of growth and in business growth, and there are so many entrepreneurs that we often do start off ourselves and have all these thoughts about, you know, is this supposed to go this way? Um, and us entrepreneurial souls, I believe, are a pretty unique kind in this society. Often the bit more creative, going outside, you know, coloring outside the lines kind of types. And um, we some of us are a bit of a loner, thinking we can do many things our own on ourselves, right? And I love how you say that you found kind of community, you found um, uh, yeah, sharing the thoughts so that you're not alone, sharing the feels, because you never are alone, and we do all that together. And no thought or question is weird because we all have them.
and in the beginning you think I have to do everything by myself, and then slowly you start to realize that you cannot do anything by yourself, so you have to let other people help you. And that's how I think everybody start from that point, that they think, okay, I start my own business, so I have to do everything by myself.
Yes.
And at some point, know that that is not possible. And from that point, I started to, I think, grow more, because then you admit to yourself that you don't have to do that.
Yes. And let's just say, how did you grow? I mean, girl, you grew like you went so fast. uh, I don't know if that's okay for you. Maybe you can share it yourself. But what I've seen you do is starting off, you know, kind of juggling all the projects and you know what direction to go. Um, but kind of once you got the certainty, you went fast, woman. You suddenly went from maybe one client to fully booked. I mean, your agenda was suddenly full with hours filled. I mean, wow, that is amazing. Could you maybe share with us how that went, or what it's like for you now?
Well, in the beginning, and actually still after 6 months, I was a little bit struggling. How do I get to how do I show myself to the world? Do I want this to take a lot of time? Because, and then I was like, maybe I have to update my LinkedIn profile a little bit. And I found some new things there, open to work, and you could show it on your profile. And I did it, and like 3 hours after that, half of my agenda was full.
Yeah.
It was a little bit strange feeling as well, but it was like that. And then you start to realize, okay, now I have something, and then I can start to build. And then actually the train is going, and then it comes to you.
I love that. That's such a big shift there that you created. Now it comes to you instead of you having to grab or run behind it. And
it's
that says
so more
that
comes to you.
yeah.
If you start to reach out, then it still feels like you want someone to hire you, and not like somebody wants to hire you.
Yeah. You point out such a profound part here. In the old programming of us people still working for, in a fixed job, or for a fixed contract, I mean, we are programmed in society that is the way you need to go find yourself a job. This is how we're raised, right? At least our generations and the ones before us, or maybe not the generations, the one that we came from.
I think everybody still is. If you go to university or you go to some kind of education, you finish and you look for a job.
Yes, we're kind of educated to become a good employer. That's what we're educated to grow into. And so that is why our minds are often closed to new ways and allowance to have things come to us, because we're trained to go after things. And it's so profound that you got to learn that in that short period of time, really, because that says a lot about how far you are in life and how connected and aligned you are too. That is beautiful. That really is. And I'm just feeling like, what would you say would be one of the biggest transformations? And I know that you've also started a new course on community management, and all things are coming together now, and you're doing so much work here. What would be one of the transformations that you are most proud of?
Believing in yourself. First you think, no, that's not for me. And with small steps you start to feel like, I can do this.
Yeah. Wow, that's such a big one. Yes, you can do this, and you have so much experience there. You've built something, so you're building something, and like you said before, maybe I'm sorry, maybe I'm going in between you. What did you want to say something else?
No, just go.
What I feel is, like you just shared, when things come to you and you kind of open up to that and you dare to kind of lean in, or surrender sometimes, it does move towards you. And what I see in you now that you've grown that self-belief, it is growing stronger and stronger. And like you just shared, what could be helpful for others listening or watching, what is so helpful is while we're building our business, you know, we have the vision for the coming 1, 2, or 5 years, or maybe 10 years. We're growing into that, and we shape it, and we twitch it a little along the way. And as long as you're going, and as long as you, like you said, you suddenly your agenda is booked and packed, so you have enough income to kind of building further on that mission you have, right? So it is beautiful, because you're so aligned now. You know where you're going, and at the same time you have some projects you're building, you're growing your expertise, and you're helping your clients. And you know, it is often, sometimes clients ask me, but I know that I had these questions too, like, where do I start, and what project do I choose? And there are so many things I like, you know, and where do I go? And this is what I see you do now too. Like, when you're aligned with your own mission and your why, and you've woken up to that, and you're listening to it, because that's also a big part of that journey. I feel that when you dare to do that, you have that vision in your mind, you have it in your heart, and you know where you're going. And it's okay that sometimes there are extra projects coming on. You know, sometimes even though I've built the online academy, and I do this one-on-one mentoring for 3 months and 6 months and year programs with our clients, I still sometimes, because I love to do it and because it helps me on the journey and going forward, I sometimes do, for example, one-on-one healing sessions with people, or I love to do the guidance for kids and their parents sometimes. So I don't always do these anymore, because I don't have to. But there are some of these projects that I love them. I do it with my heart, and this is kind of what I see you do too. You do these things with your heart, and in the same time you're growing into your dream and expanding that. So would you say, or what would you say to people if they would still be doubting to go and work with me on one-on-one, or do the SBCS course or the mastermind? What would you say to people if they're doubting that?
Actually start to repeat your dream to yourself, and repeat what you really want to reach, and what you what are important things for you to reach in life. If you, for example, care for safety, or care for health, or care for, or really creative and want to do something with that, just look at opportunities. Try to try not to be too negative to yourself. Try to be kind and say, well, let's check if there are any possibility to do this, instead of saying, no, I cannot do it, no, I just stay in my job, no, I go for the security. That's okay, but then you have to let it go. Actually, just if you keep reminding yourself to this dream you really want to reach, or really want to make work for you, then just do it.
Yes. Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for saying that. Just go for it, and just allow yourself to be kind to yourself, and kind of transform the negative thoughts into the, where are the possibilities, and ask questions to open up the mind about it. Thank you for saying that, dear. What I would love to kind of move into a little bit, now that you shared so many gifts with me and with us and with listeners and watchers, just about you, your vision, about your the things you help your clients with. You know, I think it's a true gift that you have, and that you are able to help your clients kind of, you know, move between all the elements, or of their projects, right, and of the things that they do, and really help them glue it all together, or at least you teach them how they can glue it themselves, and for a while you are the guy that is the glue, maybe sometimes. So, you know, what is it that you, from that experience, that you feel are really nice tools or tips, tricks, resources that could, help listeners, watchers, viewers on both your and my audiences? What would you say could be so helpful?
I think I started everything. I started the whole journey by making a business plan, just seeing what's possible, and then starting to believe in it, and just collecting the tools I really need and learning them to use really good, and just leaving the tools that I didn't need at the moment a little bit behind, because then you can focus on what you really need, and if there's something that you can use later, you can also start with it later. I hear often that people buy like 5, 6, 7 courses and just doing one.
Yeah.
And I was actually keeping that in mind when I was like, this course, I think I really like to do that. Do I have the space in my head to do that? No, then I don't need to do it at this time. So actually really carefully looking at your time and your space in your head, and keeping also time for things around your business. So your private life is also moving on, and then you keep space in your head to do also things that are just coming at that moment, and you can still live your life. So being really kind to yourself and your time, not doing too much.
Yes, that's such an important. Well, it's not a. I could say, is it a resource? It is. It's almost like a life skill that you're helping us be
Yeah,
reminded of.
I think I didn't really use tools or resources. Just listening to yourself and saying, actually, every time, do I need this? Do I need this? Do I need this right now? Do I have the space in my head to discover it? Do I have the time to invest to make it worthwhile?
Yes, you're sharing with us something maybe even more valuable. The questions that you can ask yourself, the love and the guidance that you're actually giving yourself when you allow yourself to see, to set yourself up for success, it almost sounds like, right? When we sometimes take on all these projects, well, we don't have the time. We then often feel like a failure if we don't do them. So when you kind of allow yourself to set a step back and really look, okay, I feel connected to this one, and I see I have time, and I just want to do that first. And, again, taking the baby steps maybe in that sense. It feels like such an important life skill that you're sharing with us, like allowing yourself to set yourself up for success in that way, that you kind of allow yourself to really take the time and book in that time for yourself. I think that's such a big gift that you're sharing with us. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, dear. Just for one sec, I'm gonna thank everybody that has been hopped on, because a lot of people have hopped on. I see Jess, Faden, Daisy, Manya, Babette. Hey, dear, great that you've been here. Tera, I think maybe Fabienne or Fab, Erica, and Rupa. Thank you so much, dears, for having been here with us. And if anybody's watching that still would like to ask a question, feel free to do that down here in the chat box for Mariella, or for me, or for a comment in general. You are so welcome to do that. And we'll also be adding show notes to in the podcast, and on our socials, so that you can find important information back that has been shared. And I also want to give you a bit of space, Mariella, to maybe share some things that that you think are important to maybe end today's talk with. And I'd also love to ask you, if you want to top it off with sharing where people can find you, maybe share your website, or your socials. Would that be okay with you to dive into that?
Okay, yeah, well, actually, the biggest message I have is keep keep looking back sometime and keep uh, being actually a little bit careful with your time and what you take and what you take extra in your company. You have to work in your company, but also at your company, and you have to take time for that too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and just take it and, yeah, and just look at your success and just celebrate it a little bit because nobody is doing this for you. You have to do it yourself.
I'm grateful that you share this most important part. Celebrate the successes, no matter how small. The baby steps are meant to be celebrated. I love that. Yes, you're so right about that. How do you that? How do you do celebration? Because for some of us, I know I'm one of them that found it and sometimes still finds it hard to celebrate the smallest things. What are things that help you celebrate?
Well, actually, when you start to when the month is coming to an end, and you start to realize how many hours you worked and how many hours you and what you did for your own company and what you learned, and then just start to look back and just say to yourself, okay, now I deserve taking a drink somewhere or go for a coffee or go to the beach and take a walk or just enjoy the kids and just take some extra time for that.
I love that so much. Yes, so looking back at the end of the month, seeing how many times you put in, how many things you've done, really remembering the good parts of that month, and then taking yourself out for a drink, a coffee, a walk on the beach, or like you said, sharing time with your kids because you love them so much and you love yourself enough to also take that time. That's so important. Thanks so much for sharing that. I love that. And I resonate with it. We took a walk last Tuesday on the beach, went for a lunch, was a great celebration. And um, yeah, I'm so grateful for you sharing your time with us, dear. I know you're a busy mama and you're a busy business babe, doing amazing, changing lives, creating ripples of goodness. And I'm grateful that you are such a strong leader, then daring to step up because we need you, woman. So thank you so much for doing that, and thank you for today. Where can people find you? What are your social media or websites? What?
Um, I have a website. It's and actually, you can find anything on Instagram. I put the website also on. And my company is Fixed by Marielle, so you can find me. If you look for that, you will find me.
Nice.
And here,
FixeDbYMariël.nl, right? Or
yes,
.com?
.nl.
.nl. And your email even is
Just
info@fixedbymariel.nl.
you can find anything there, but you can also send me a message on Insta, and I will let you know everything you need to know.
Nice. And your Insta, we can see it here, of course, but people listening to the podcast
Yeah.
might not be seeing it.
If you look for Fixed by Marielle and you type it all back to back, then you will find me.
Great, Fixed by Marielle, or your name, your full name, Mariella Rijk.
Yes.
And just to say that, translated into English means rich, and that is the best name ever. So you'll find Mariella Rijk or Fixed by Marielle on the socials. Both you are. We can find you on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, right?
I use Instagram and LinkedIn.
All right, great. Thank you for sharing that. And now people can know their ways to you. And I'm grateful for your service and your beautiful work and for your time here today. And is there anything, maybe a motto or something that you feel that you want to end today's call with?
No.
No
Right
worries.
now. No.
You shared so much, dear. So it is all good. And I just like to let people know that in the show notes you can find everything back that we shared today. There is there is an there are a couple of spots opening up for our one-on-one mentoring. We open the doors twice a year for that. So we just closed our doors in January, and we open the new ones in the end of the summer. But there are some spots opening up for shorter guidance, and you are always welcome to do the Soulful Business Creation Secret course, and you find it on soulfulbusinesscreationsecrets.com/order SBCS now. Or you can just contact us on our social media, or answer us and find our links in the show notes below these videos or podcasts. And I'm grateful that you've been here with us today. I'm grateful for your time, for you listening and making this world a better place. And thanks so much for now. I'll be closing up the live, and I see you soon.